Hello and welcome to my walkthrough of the iOS Xcode and Swift project, yay or nay. So this is a mobile application coded with Xcode and Swift, and I'm just going to give you a little demo to start off. So you open up the app, it's got a nice little icon here, open it up, and it's got this first page, got a little Kanye West quote, "How much does the earth cost? I'm going to buy the entire earth and be king." That's a real Kanye West quote. And then down here it has the instructions. Guess if each quote is by Kanye, yay, because people call Kanye yay, it's a play on words, yay or nay, or by any other famous historical figure, nay. So let's just walk through this one time. We hit begin and it pops up. It already has a high score of 6 because I just played it. And we have to decide if a quote is Kanye or not. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning. That doesn't sound like Kanye. And it has the author here and it tells you whether you got it right or wrong. I went green, different author, so nay was right. We need to come back together in the name of Jesus. I'm going to say Kanye. So it's green and lit up with Kanye. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. Let's guess Kanye. So when you get it wrong, it goes red and shows the original author at the bottom. I'm nice at ping pong. Definitely Kanye. So many of us need so much less than we have, especially when so many of us are in need. It's a little wordy. I'm going to guess Kanye. Yeah. You can basically say anything to someone on email or text as long as you put lol at the end. Kanye. Buy property. I'll go Kanye. Let's be like water. Wow, that was Kanye. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why I recommend it daily. Zig Ziglar. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind. No, that doesn't sound like Kanye. Henry Ford. So now my high score is 7. When I begin again, the high score updates to 7. And so there are 10 questions. And so the high score you can get is 10. Let's do a little walk through the code here. Move this off to the side. So when you look at the actual code, it starts out with the main storyboard. It has 2 views, the home view, which has the quote and the begin button, and then it has a segue built to the quiz view. And this quiz view is updated every question. So it's not custom, like for every question, it's just updated. Next, we're going to go to view controller. This view controller is tied to the main storyboard. This one right here, and oh wow, go back. Okay, I'll fix that in a second. So this main view controller actually just pulls the high score if the high score local storage, which is being stored in local storage, is 0, or if it's not set, it will set it to 0. If it is something, it just returns. So it does nothing to the high score here unless it hasn't been set yet. And that's just for starting out for the very first time. And then this is when you press the start button, it will perform a segue and open up the second screen. That's all this page does, right? Then we go to our quiz view controller, which affects the other screen. And I know I totally messed this up. I can't. Okay, well, it goes to the other screen and I'll fix that. That's annoying. And this has a little bit more complicated. These are all the labels and these are the buttons, and this is the progress bar at the bottom. Brain is an instance of this right here, which keeps track of the quiz information. And I'll show you that in a second. So here it sets the progress bar and the label text to score and high score. This is just in the very beginning before everything starts, and then it calls update UI. Update UI is actually called every time an answer is chosen. And you can see this here is answer pressed, and it's either of the answer buttons. When they're pressed, it uses the current title and sends it to Brain, right? Brain does all the calculations. If it's right, if it's wrong, it does everything. This right here will turn it red if it's wrong, green if it's right. And over here, it does brain.next quote, which in Brain, I'll show you, goes to the next one and changes the progress bar and updates the label text accordingly. Down here, it schedules a timer for 1 second, so you can see who the author is and you can see the color of the button, whether you got it right or wrong. So this is very important. And then after that, after a second, you see the selector, it does update UI down here. And at update UI, it will check if the game is over. If the game is over, it will close it. It will set the high score in local storage and store it so that even if you close the app and come back, you'll have the same high score, but then it will close the screen and go back to the main screen, self.dismiss. If the game is not over, it will set the quote text to the new quote for the next question, and it will remove the author text so that you don't know who the author is. It will also reset these, the same colors to clear on the buttons so that you're not confused by what answer was right the last time. Let's take a look at brain.swift. So Brain has a few things. It keeps track of what number question or quote you're on. So this is the list of quotes, and each quote is actually an object that I'll show you. It shows score and high score, and this Brain stores it. A new Brain is called every time you hit start. Okay, so these questions will actually, the quotes will change. They won't all be the same. So every time you start it over again, it will reshuffle the questions. And then it has basic check answer. If the answer is correct, it adds 1 to the score. If the score is higher than the high score, it'll update the high score as well. If not, it will return. And then very basic get score, get high score, get quote, get author, get progress. Very easy, just return functions. And then next quote adds 1 to the index of quotes. And then if it's more than the count of quotes, which is actually 10 right now, is over will be set to true. And then the logic set to, if the game is over, will run when it goes back to the main page. And so this uses quote, 10 instances of quote. So let's take a look at quote. Quote is where it stores the quote information. Now, I'd originally planned on doing this way better. I had access to APIs. I was figuring it out. I had this API called Kanye.rest. It's a REST API, but it didn't work out. I even have the code here. I got so close. I got it to print exactly that text, but I couldn't get it to leave because it kept saying there were scope errors. I just didn't have the time to fix it. So instead, I have a copied list, and this is a copied dictionary with quote and author for the other quotes. And so I had to use that instead, which was a little annoying, but it works. I just use select random element on the list. The text is the quote, Kanye West, and then if it's randomly chosen, you see I have a list of true and false. It will choose randomly between them. If it's not Kanye West, it will choose a quote from quotes, not yay quotes. And then it will do the quote and author. That pretty much is my project. You can check it out on GitHub. If you have any suggestions or any comments or questions, please let me know, and I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you very much.